Welcome back to Travel HQ. Today, we're going to be predicting the outcome of the Premier League title race using a game from 25 years ago. Premier League title race is hotting up. At the time of recording, Arsenal are 6 points ahead of Man City, but City have got 2 games in hand, so could potentially close the gap, level on points. A lot of people have the different opinions on who's going to win the title. Is it going to be Arsenal? Is it going to be Man City? But what does a game from 25 years ago think about it? Today, we're going to be simulating 25 years on Championship Manager 0102 to find out who it thinks is going to be the title winner for the current Premier League season. And we'll also look at his predictions all of the years in between. So we're playing Championship Manager 0102 on retroonline.net. Like I said, we're going to be simulating 25 years of the game to see exactly who it thinks is going to be winning the title, who will win the Champions League this season, who will win the FA Cup. I don't actually know how long it's going to take to simulate that many years, so this could be running on my PC for a number of days. I'll try and do an interim check-in around the halfway mark. Okay, let's do England, obviously. Jose Benrino. Password, don't think I need a password. Let's be English. Right, team. It doesn't really matter what team I select, to be fair, but I'm going to select my own team, Liverpool. Let's take control. Yes, I want to take control of Liverpool. Sorry, Gerard Houllier, who was probably the manager around this time, I'm guessing. Around 2000, what were we doing in 2001? I think we just won the five trophies. Right, finish. I am the manager and I'm immediately going to go on a 25-year sabbatical. Go on holiday, there we go. Let's go on holiday. See you again in 13 years' time. So it's now roughly halfway. So as you can see, we're currently in 2014, so just over halfway. There's a European Championship qualifying going on at the moment. So let's come back off holiday, see how I'm doing as a manager, bearing in mind I've been on holiday for 14 years, so probably not that great. And also see who's won all of the titles up to now in the major competitions in England. So here we go, it's time to return from holiday. Let's see how the lads are doing. Let's see if I'm still in a job. Okay, so I can see that Luton's highlighted yellow and I can see English second division. So I am now manager of second division side Luton. And as we can see by this list, we've also got West Brom down in second division. Who knew? Second division, by the way, I think is what is now League One. And this is still back in the day where you had the Premier League, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, rather than the Championship. How long have I been Luton manager? Looks like a fair few years. 2013, 2012, 2011. I was Barnet manager for a short period. Watford manager, I can see at the bottom of the screen. Sacked from that job. How long did I last as Liverpool manager? Watford. Here we go. Sacked from Liverpool in... Well, I am assuming I was sacked and I didn't leave Liverpool to go and join Watford. Yeah, sacked as Liverpool manager. And... God... Unemployed for 10 months. Right, so let's go through the competitions now and see who's winning all of the major competitions between 2001 and 2014. Let's start off looking at League Cup. History, there we go. History. So, starting off with the first season, I think it does a weird thing where it duplicates it. So I think the first game winner was Blackburn, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal. It's got all over the shop here. Newcastle, Arsenal. I mean, it is the League Cup, to be fair, so everyone's resting the teams, resting the best players for this one, I think. Fulham, Villa, Arsenal again, Newcastle, Villa, Arsenal, Sunderland. So no sign of Man United. They lost it in 06-07. And bearing in mind, in 2003 as well, they got beat by Tottenham, of all teams. Bearing in mind that when this game started in the 01-02 season, Man United will have been the best team on the game. They were still well into their glory years. Arsenal obviously also well up there at the time. It was a battle between Wenger and Ferguson. But yeah, considering they've not won the League Cup in all of those years. Interesting. I don't know if that'll be carried across to the Premier League and the FA Cup, etc. as well, but we'll find out. So now we'll go to FA Cup, see who's been winning that. Right, so it starts off with Ipswich, obviously. Ipswich beating Arsenal in the final. Then Chelsea, Liverpool picked one up. You know, I won a trophy as a manager. I was on holiday for it, but, you know, from the beach in Dubai, I did enjoy that victory. Man United won it in 2005. Villa seem to be doing all right in this game. Villa, Man United, Tottenham. I mean, this is the least Spursy Spurs thing that I've ever seen. They've won 2 trophies now in this past 12-year, 13-year period. Man United again, Leeds, Bolton, surprisingly. Leeds again in 2012, beating QPR. Now, I think Leeds might be all right in this game because when the game started, they were still been in the Premier League. I think back in 01-02, they were at like a half-decent side as well, like playing in the Champions League and whatnot. That was well before their big decline and bankruptcy and all that kind of stuff or whatever happened to them. Everton and then Man United, most recently beating Chelsea in the final. Right, now let's look at the big ones. In fact, let's start in Europe first. We'll go to the UEFA Cup and then we'll come back to the Premier League. So who's been winning the UEFA Cup? So it starts off with Chelsea, Lazio, Celtic, Bayern. Again, this is going all around the houses. I don't know how many of these teams Unai Emery was the manager of, but yeah, Roma, Inter, Juventus, Lens, Man United, surprisingly. Celta Vigo, Hertha Berlin, Everton, big win for them against Arau, whatever. And then Deportivo beat Leverkusen in the final most recently. Now let's go over to the Champions League. Be really interesting. Well, I can see there, Reading against PSG is one of the fixtures that's happening. They're in a group there with Real Madrid, Partizan Belgrade and Paris Saint-Germain, obviously. So this could have some interesting winners in it as well. Bayern Munich, the most recent one, well, at the start of the game. Roma back-to-back winners. Barcelona, Milan, Roma again, Barcelona, Man United, Bayern, Dortmund. 3 out of 4 of the last winners have been Dortmund, and then Arsenal somehow managing to win it. I say somehow, you know, they're on the cusp in real life. I think they probably will get pumped by PSG, but we'll find out. Dortmund as well, 3 times runner-up before they managed to turn that form around and win it 3 times in 4 years. Incredible stuff. And let's finally look at the Premier League and see who, well, currently the Tranmere Rovers are at the top of the Premier League, obviously. Where are Arsenal and where are City? City might not even be in it. So, are Arsenal even in it? Oh, yeah, sorry, Arsenal are 6th. In the 01-02 when the game started, I think City were in the Championship, and that very season, 01-02, in real life, they got promoted, and then a couple of years ago, that's when the Saudi oil money started flooding in, and they went flying up the league and eventually won it. So, in this, let's just check back, because we do need to see who's going to win the league this season, and if Man City are even in the Premier League come 2025-26, they don't stand much of a chance, do they? They are not in the top half of the Championship at the moment. There they are, 17th. Oh, I think they were in real life, they were winning the league around this time, so it's not looking good for them to be challenging Arsenal. But yeah, let's go back, let's see who is winning the league. And as expected, so it started off with Arsenal winning it, Man United and then Arsenal again, and then Man United just went on an absolute spree with some odd runners up. Well, Leeds in 2008, as I said, and 2010 and 11 actually, but as I said, they are quite good on this game. Portsmouth runners up though in 2009. Harry Redknapp doing his business, maybe, I don't know. Leeds winners in 2012, then Arsenal, and then Man United still holding it up, still keeping strong. Now, Arsenal got a good chance of winning the 25-26 Premier League at this range. I don't know. It's still another 12 years away, so they might have a bit of a drop-off, or they might overcome Man United and their dominance. Let's just look at some of the transfers and what weird and wonderful things have been happening in the transfer window. So starting at the 2002 big transfers, Lucio from Leverkusen to Inter Milan, 37 million. Fabio Cannavaro, Panucci, Robert Perez gone to Roma. Rivaldo from Milan to Roma. Roma making some big moves. Anybody else of note? I can't see any other big names there. Let's go to the 2003. Dede. I sort of vaguely remember him being a thing, but I don't remember him being worth 30 million, that's for sure. Lucio on the move again. Didn't quite like it at Inter Milan. Oh, Gaisca Mendieta, Barcelona to Inter Milan. Nesta to Bayern, Inzaghi to Bayern. These are just transfers that were never going to happen in real life, aren't they? Edgar David, Juventus to Roma. Again, they're on the move, making some big signings. Oliver Neuville to Barcelona. Again, never happened in a month of Sundays. Zidane, Juventus to Man United. Probably a player they tried to sign back in the day. 2004, any big signings? Obviously, Igor Biscan's gone to Inter Milan. And that's probably about it for 2004. Nedved to Man United, another notable transfer. 23 million, Lucio on the move again, Roma to Bayern. This is just like the Lucio pages, this, isn't it? Robert Pires didn't like it at Roma, he's gone to Barcelona. Buffon to Leverkusen, obviously. 2006, Emil Mpenza, 24.5 million. Roma signing players again. Patrick Vieira to Roma, 21 million. Matthew Piper, never heard of him, but he's gone from Liverpool to Sunderland for 14.5 million. David Beckham, Barcelona back to Man United, obviously. 2007, Zambrotta making the move. Pablo Aimar moving from Leeds to Leverkusen. Leverkusen buying loads of players. Michael Owen, Liverpool to PSV Eindhoven, of course. Jonathan Woodgate, 2008, Jonathan Woodgate to Dortmund. Sidney Govou, I remember him on Football Manager as well, he was a class player, and Kieran Dyer all going to Dortmund, and Raul. It's no wonder they became a European powerhouse with these sorts of signings. 2009, Dede's on the move again, biggest transfer of that season. John Welsh to Juventus from Arsenal, no idea who he is. Harry Kewell to Dortmund. Lucio on the move again. I must have missed when he went to Leeds, but now he's going to Dortmund as well. Oh, that was a transfer that I think that happened in real life. Sorry, just going back to 2009. Well, actually, I've only just noticed Steven Gerrard, 9 million to Celtic. They've got an absolute steal there. But El Hadji Diouf, Liverpool to Blackburn. I'm pretty sure he went to Blackburn at one point in time. I don't know if it was straight from Liverpool, but he did go. The Spitter. Jermaine Defoe to Real Madrid. Andre Pirlo to Dortmund. Again, just strengthening the side every year. Let's go over to 2011. Joaquin, legend of a player, to Dortmund. Obviously, I don't know where they're getting the money from. Ibrahimovic, Bordeaux to Barcelona. Obviously, a team he did play for in real life. Adriano on the move to Dortmund, obviously. Barcelona making a few players. Gael Givet, John Terry to Barcelona from Celtic of all clubs. Nearly up to present day in the game. Andy Berry made the move from Leeds to Dortmund, 32 million. Roque Santa Cruz from Leeds to Dortmund. They had some big deals between them. Ibrahimovic, Barcelona to Inter. I think that was a transfer that happened, wasn't it? Or vice versa. I can't remember if he went from Inter to Barca or from Barca to Inter. I feel like it was Barca to Inter. And yeah, up to 2014, what transfers are happening? Obviously, Andy Berry is now, they didn't like him. Dortmund have now sold him to Arsenal for 25 million. It's not a bad piece of business. Jermaine Defoe's gone from Real Madrid to Arsenal, and then Dortmund have had another spending spree. John Welsh even, Thiago Lima, and Gaston Fernandez. Okay, so I'm going to go back on holiday now, and then we'll resume at the end of the 25-26 season to find out who wins the Premier League according to Champ Manager. Is it going to be Arsenal? Is it somehow going to be City? I don't know. Rejoin me in, well, what will be for you 10 seconds, but for me, it's probably going to be another 3 days until we find out who the winner is in 25-26. Okay, so it's finally the time. The year is 2026 in both real life and in the game, so we can now find out who, according to Champ Manager 0102, is going to win the Premier League in the 25-26 season. As always, the first thing we're going to do is check out how I'm doing as a manager. It's been 25 years now, and I've had a nice holiday, but have I kept my job? Straight off the bat, I can see that I am unemployed because there's no team listed here. Let's just see how long I've been unemployed. My last club, Chelsea, not bad. And I lost that job in 2025 in October. So I've been out of a job now for about 8 months. So I've had a 10-month holiday whilst I've been on holiday. Let's see what else I've been up to. So if you remember back to 5 minutes ago, it was 2014 and It might have been a short amount of time for you, but this has been a long time in preparation. For context, it's taken almost 2 weeks to record this. It's crashed a number of times. I've had to restart it a number of times. The game seems to get glitchy around the year 2016, so I have been obsessively saving game and checking on my computer to make sure that it gets through to 2026. And finally, this time it did. In real life, a lot has changed. When we started this recording, Man City had not since long beat Arsenal and were back in the title race, and it was going to potentially go down to goal difference. Then immediately when we started filming it, this was the 4th of May, they drew to Everton and the title race was blown wide open once again. And now the gap is 5 points as of today, and Man City play this evening. That's it for what's happening in real life. Now let's find out what Champ Manager thinks is going to happen. So yeah, I've been sacked as Chelsea manager. I was Chelsea manager for what looks like a couple of seasons. 2023. Yeah, a good few years. 2022, 2020. Right, so I was Luton manager, sacked as Luton manager. And what better credentials for a Chelsea manager than to have been sacked by Luton? Managed to somehow get myself hired as Chelsea manager and stayed there for a few years before they found out that I was just on a lifelong holiday. And then that was that. So in terms of my Luton job, I think I was at Luton in 2014, so I must have been there a hell of a long time. Let me just double check that. I didn't have any breaks in between yet. So entirely from the 2014 midway point, or sort of midway point, I was with Luton all the way through to 2021. So a good stint at Luton. Now let's find out what's been happening in the major competitions, starting with the League Cup. Where we left off was 2014, and post 2014, it's gone all over the shop really. Blackburn won the League Cup, Villa, Palace, Grimsby of all teams, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham. I mean, less likely even than Grimsby winning the League Cup, I think. And then Leeds, Villa, Gillingham, of course, Sheffield United, Newcastle, and then most recently in the 2026 season, it was a final between Rotherham and Man United, and Rotherham, of course, came out the victors. To be fair, if that happened in 2026 today, I think Rotherham would come out the victors as well. So the FA Cup, where we left up, Man United were the winners. And since then, Everton won it in 2015, Villa 2016, QPR, Rotherham winning more trophies. 2018 final between Rotherham and Grimsby. Two powerhouses of English football by this point in the game, apparently. Everton, Villa, Port Vale 2021, beating off the Rotherham competition. Fulham in 2022, beating Man City. So Man City might be a force in the game, maybe. Remember when we looked in 2014, I think they were still in the Championship, so maybe they've rose to something that resembles power. Man United 2023, Arsenal, Watford, and Rotherham again, winning 2 FA Cups in the past 12 years. So let's just have a check in the European competitions. So again, this one looks a bit all over the shop. Inter Milan, Werder Bremen, Zaragoza beat Real Madrid in the final in 2017. Marseille. I mean, these are the games that we would absolutely love if it was to happen in real life. Some random teams, Juventus, Fenerbahce v Bordeaux final. Who wouldn't want to see that? Zaragoza. Everton beating Juventus in 2022. Ajax beating Anderlecht the year after. Barcelona sort of back to a little bit of normality there. Then Arsenal. And then, most recently in 2026, we've got Werder Bremen as our UEFA Cup, or what is now Europa League winners, beating Zaragoza. Let's have a look at the Champions League winners over the past 12 years. Dortmund, so if you remember when we looked before, Dortmund had won back-to-back Champions League titles, and I think they were in a couple of finals before as well, yeah, getting beat by Barcelona and Man United. Then they went to hit 3 on the bounce, beating Arsenal in the final twice, and Barcelona in between. AC Milan then, Roma, Arsenal, Marseille, and then Nottingham Forest rolling back the years to win the Champions League in 2021. Real Madrid beat off the mighty Rotherham in 2022. Barcelona against Everton final 23. Roma, Dortmund, Lazio United. And then, most recently, something that resembles normality, Real Madrid beat Arsenal in the final in 2026. Okay, so, the Premier League. Where we left off, Man United was still riding high in English football, and I think around this time, in 2014, they were still a pretty decent team. I think that was around the time that Alex Ferguson left. A year later, Arsenal won it with Man United coming in second. Then things started to look a little bit weird because Man United beat Nottingham Forest out to who came in second in the year 2016, but still Man United winning, which is fairly expected. Man United again 2017, Arsenal 2018, Middlesbrough 2019, Man United again beating Nottingham Forest in 2020, QPR winning the league somehow in 2021, and then it gets even more weird. We've got Nottingham Forest back-to-back winners with second place Rotherham, Arsenal beating Sheffield United in 2024, and then 2025, the season before the current one, Arsenal again beating Reading. So it's starting to look like there is a little bit of a chance that Champ Manager might predict that Arsenal is going to win the league. It's not looking too good for Man City, and maybe, I don't know, maybe there'll be another team that might make an appearance. Without further ado, let us find out who exactly Champ Manager 0102 thinks is going to win the league in 2026. It is Everton. Everton are going to win the league this year. Go to the bookies right now, stick your bet on, because somehow Everton are going to close the gap on Arsenal. 2 games to go. They're going to do it. They're going to make it up there. It's nailed on because Champ Manager 0102 says it is. Thought for a second it was going to predict Arsenal as the winners, but no, it looks like Arsenal have slipped a little bit. They're not even first or second anymore. Let's take a little bit of a look at how Champ Manager fared in terms of predicting each of the trophies throughout the 24 years that simulated the game. In terms of League Cup winners, it only correctly guessed 1 of the 24, and that being the very first one, Blackburn Rovers, to win the 0102 Cup. FA Cup winners, likewise, it only got 1 out of 24. This time in the 1920 season, correctly predicting Arsenal would win the cup. For the UEFA Cup / Europa League, it got 0 correct predictions. It was a similar story for the Champions League, only getting 1 out of the 24, correctly predicting Real Madrid would win the cup in 21-22. It had put a heavy reliance on Dortmund winning quite a few trophies throughout the years, which obviously did not come to fruition. And finally, in terms of the Premier League, it did a little bit better, getting 7 out of 24. A 29% hit rate on that one, mainly because it was predicting Arsenal or Man United every season, and in the years 01 to 2011, that was basically how it went in real life, with a little bit of a spattering of Chelsea as well. I think particular shout out has to go to its predictions for the 2020 to 21 season. In that season, it predicted that the League Cup would be won by Leeds, not too crazy, but then it also predicted Port Vale to win the FA Cup. It predicted Real Zaragoza to win the UEFA Cup, or the Europa League as it now is. Nottingham Forest were going to win the Champions League. And then finally, the Premier League was won by QPR in that season. So some pretty outlandish guesses for that year. Let's have a little look who's in the Premier League currently in the game. We've seen a few surprises in the cup competitions. So let's see what teams have actually made it to the Premier League in this 25-year period. Obviously, we've got Arsenal in there, Crystal Palace, Derby, Grimsby are in there, Millwall, who nearly got promoted in real life. Port Vale have climbed through the leagues to get to the Premier League. Portsmouth are back in there, QPR, Reading, Rotherham. This seems like an awful lot of teams that are not there at the moment, so I expect there's going to be a lot of teams that have been relegated. Rotherham, Scunthorpe, Sheffield United, Southend, Watford and Wolves. So I didn't see a Chelsea there. I didn't see a Liverpool there. Obviously, there was no Man City. Okay, so that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe. So until next time, keep on taking those 25-year holidays. But remember, always live in the past.